high carb, low fat, vegan brownie in a mug. For this recipe you will need cacao, vanilla powder, optional extra but it does add a little bit of something. This is Ella's Kitchen apple puree, applesauce if you're in America. Demerara sugar I've got there, but any sugar will do really. Whole wheat flour, plain flour, in this case I've got strong white bread flour, but you can use plain flour, it's preferable. A mug is needed. And a fork. And 1 tablespoon measure. Now you want 2 tablespoons of whole wheat flour to begin with. I like to use whole wheat flour because it adds a bite to the brownie and also adds a bit of fibre, which you don't get if you use all plain flour. Like I said earlier, I've only got bread flour here, but it's preferable to use plain for cakes. And you want 2 tablespoons of white flour, so 4 tablespoons of flour in all. Ta-da! I like to tidy as I go. Not a neat freak, but I like clean kitchen sides. Now you add the cacao. You want 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. This particular one, Creative Nature from Tesco's, is a lot nicer than Cadbury's chocolate powder. It's a new one that Tesco's have started stocking. It is quite pricey, £7 a tub, but I really do think it's worth it. This is a little bit of vanilla powder. This is a grinder that has chunks of vanilla pods in them that are ground up, which is quite cool, I thought, as it's then technically a whole food. But you can use whatever vanilla you happen to have. Really wouldn't recommend essence because that's nasty. But I wouldn't add much more than a 1/4 teaspoon. Attempting to show you the powder, but it doesn't work. Now you want to add the sugar. Now I'm adding 3 tablespoons of sugar here. You could possibly do with just 2. I haven't tried it with 2 yet, but I will do next time. Because the apple itself is quite sweet. Although these pouches are literally just pureed apple, nothing added. Now you want 2 tablespoons of apple puree, but these little packets are the exact amount. I just suck out the last little bit, no wasting. And now you want to stir this up, so it'll be quite thick to begin with. And you want to make sure that you have no air pockets of dry flour at the bottom. Really scrape into the corners or the edges. You might find if you're just using all plain flour that this should be enough wetness, shall we say, but for me it's quite thick, so I add 1 tablespoon of water, which lets it down a little bit. It also means, along with the whole wheat flour, that you do need to cook this slightly longer than other recipes you might have seen. But I think it just ends up to be a nice, healthier brownie at the end of the day. Giving it a good stir there. And then you want to make sure that you scrape down the edges so that most of the mixture's at the bottom. And then scrape off the fork. And because there's no raw egg in here, you can lick your finger should you have got dirty. And then you can also lick the fork. And then you want to cook this, obviously. So this is done in the microwave. I've got a nice new microwave that my parents bought for me for my birthday. It's very well used. Just makes things so much easier than steam potatoes and veggies and things and eat it out the tub you've cooked it in, rather than having to wash up a saucepan. So this goes in for 1 minute 30 seconds. The extra 30 seconds I think is needed if you're using whole wheat flour and you've got quite a wet mixture. I like to make these for pudding, and they're really, really nice if you put some vegan ice cream on top, some vanilla. Waitrose have just started stocking a product called Almond Dream, which I think is $4.99 a tub if memory serves me rightly. They do vanilla, salted caramel, a pecan crunch I think it is, and then the other flavour which I can't remember. Really, really nice flavours. I like the salted caramel. I've tried the salted caramel and vanilla, and I do like the salted caramel. They are much less fat than the other vegan alternatives that you can find that I've found so far. Tesco's do a vanilla flavoured vegan ice cream, which is pretty much flavoured coconut oil. I'm not a fan of eating too much fat. I'm trying to follow the starch solution. Obviously this isn't starch solution. It's a bit of a treat. I suppose it is high carb, but I don't suppose Dr. McDougall would recommend it. I do hope you enjoy this recipe. Let me know if you try it and see what you think. This is sort of adapted from other recipes that I found on the internet, and I think it's pretty darn tasty. Brownie time! Nice and steamy. You want to let it sit for a couple of minutes because it will burn the roof of your mouth off. But I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much.